Saxon Algebra 2, Lesson 114. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk to you about logarithms or anti-logs. We're going in a completely different direction. As much as most students get a headache talking about logarithms, most students find this lesson to be pretty fun and kind of cute. You remember, I just taught this lesson to the Algebra 1 gentlemen, graphing inequalities where we would draw linear inequalities where we would draw a line and then maybe draw a line and then we would shade like it's this region and then it's this region. So this is the region where we have overlap. Do you remember doing this? That's where we were graphing pairs of linear inequalities because these are lines. And we were finding the places where they overlapped. What we're gonna do in this lesson is basically the same thing except with shapes besides lines. There will be some lines, but it won't be all lines. We're gonna have some wacky shapes. The nice thing is that John is drawing the pictures for us, right? We had to draw our own pictures in these. This time, John is drawing the pictures and we just look at his pictures and the inequalities and try to figure out where we think the points lie, and then we have to pick a test point and be sure. So let's look at the first one. Okay, let me show you what we've got. All right, I'm looking at this picture down here. I hope you can see it. Squint real hard. Okay, so John has chosen a line and a parabola and kindly told us what they are. And he's graphed the lines, but he hasn't done any shading of the regions, right? And here's the parabola, and here's the line. Now, in choosing what area we think is the solution, he's given us some choices. Area A and B are above the line. Area A is above the line and outside the parabola. Area B is above the line but inside the parabola. Okay, so those are two choices. Then we could also choose below the line. If it's inside the parabola, it's D, but if it's below the line and outside the parabola, it's C. See how he's mapped it all up using these 4 letters? And what we're supposed to do is choose which region we think it is and then use a test to prove ourselves right or wrong, in which case we just guess again. Okay, so we look at these inequalities and we do our best to guess. Y is greater than in the line equation. Greater than typically means above. Less than typically means below. So I'm guessing that it's above the line. It's A or B. Then it says that Y is greater than the parabola. So I'm guessing that means it would be outside the parabola because Y gets bigger as you're outside the parabola. So I'm guessing it's region A because it's above the line and outside the parabola. So now what I have to do is pick a point in that area. I can't just use the test point, although in this one I probably could, but I have to pick a point that's in my region in order to test for it because there are 4 possible outcomes. So I have to pick a point technically in my area. John picked one here. He picked 0, 5. I mean, okay, I'll bite. So what we want to do is we want to use this point in both of these calculations. It has to come out true for both of them in order for it to prove, in order for the test to prove that our region A guess is correct. This point has to work for both of these. So let's plug in. So our test point, it can be any point in the region that you think is the solution and just pick easy numbers. That's all, okay? Any point in, I'll call it the desired region. I'm not sure you really desire that region, but you know what I mean. The chosen region. Okay, so what are our equations? The first one, well, they're inequalities. Y is greater than or equal to minus 1/2 x minus 1. Okay, so let's plug in. 5 is greater than or equal to minus 1/2 times 0. Oh, it's so nice to choose a 0x value. Minus 1. Okay, let's clean this up. Minus 1/2 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 1 is minus 1. So that would be 5 is greater than or equal to minus 1. True. So we're going to go with our guess that it's region A. And guess what? That's right. Yay. Okay, so we look at the picture, we look at the inequalities, we do our best to guess the region, and then we pick a test point that makes sense and test both. Oh, I didn't do the other one, sorry. Test both points and make sure it's right. I got all excited because I know that's the right answer. Y is greater than or equal to. Okay, so that's the second. This is the parabola. This was the line. Now let's put it in. 5 is greater than or equal to minus 0 squared plus 4 times 0 minus 1. Okay, this is 0 plus 0, so that all just comes down to minus 1. 5 is greater than or equal to minus 1. That is also true. Yay. All right, let's try another one. I finished our red book, and since we're so close to the end of the year, I didn't want to start a new spiral notebook, so we're just roughing it out with loose leaf. Okay, example 114, los dos. All right, here's our new picture. This one is also a parabola and a line. John has drawn them so nicely for us, right? Here's the parabola. This one opens up. Here's the line. It's dotted. Oh, yeah, that makes sense because there's no equal sign under there. Okay, so there's above the line, below the line, inside the parabola, and outside the parabola. Y is greater than X. Okay, this time, as the Y goes up, it's inside the parabola. So since Y is greater than, I think it's going to be inside of this parabola because that's where the Y's are going up. This one, for the line, it's Y is less than. So that means it would be below the line. So below the line, but below the line, but inside the parabola is region C. So that is my guess. John guessed the same as me. That's a fortuitous sign, isn't it? And the point he chose is minus 2 and 1. I mean, that's fine. It can be anything, right? Anything that's in this region. So let's use his point, minus 2 and 1. Okay, that's in our desired region of C. I'm not going to put a box around it yet because I haven't proven it. So let's test it in equation A, which is Y. It's not equation, it's inequality, but my brain always says that. Okay, so we plug in Y is greater than or equal to minus 2 squared plus 4 times minus 2 plus 2. This is 4, this is negative 8, and plus 2. 1 is greater than or equal to, let's see, 4 minus 8 is minus 4, plus 2 is minus 2. Okay, so it works out. That's true. So it works out for the first inequality. Let's try the second one. It's Y is less than minus X plus 1. Okay, so 1 is less than minus 2 plus 1. This becomes positive 2. 1 is less than 3. Also true. So region C is our winner. All right, and we just have one more that works the same way. The only difference is the type of picture that we have. All right, this is a circle and a line. All right, so that's a little different. Before we had parabolas, but that's fine. We can figure it out. Okay, x squared plus y squared is less than 16. That's the equation of our circle. And I will tell you that when we see less than here, it typically means inside the circle. Y is greater than X, that would mean above the line. So inside the circle and above the line is what we're guessing. That's region B. Once again, John guesses the same region as us. It's -2, 2 is the point he picked. I mean, that's fine. I like to pick his points because if you ever look back in this book and at this lesson and see that, I like to be consistent with John so that I don't needlessly confuse you, but it doesn't have to be John's point. It could be any point here inside region B. All right, so example 114.3, we're using a test point of -2, 2. We think it's region B. Our first equation is x squared plus y squared is less than or equal to 16. Okay, so that would be 2 squared plus -2 squared is less than or equal to 16. That's 4 plus 4. 8 is less than 16. It's equal to every time. I'm just refusing to remember that. That's true. So it works for the first equation, inequality. B, y is greater than or equal to x. We plug in 2 is greater than or equal to -2. Oh, that's my favorite one yet. That's true. So B is indeed the region of choice. Let me just make sure it's the right answer. Yay. Okay, so the hardest part of these problems is just making your guess, right? Based on these inequalities, guessing, well, does this mean inside the circle or outside the circle? After you've got a little experience in guessing, you'll feel more confident. But here's the thing. Excuse me. If you guessed wrong, then your test point will fail. You'll get falses in your test. Then all that means is, okay, go back to the picture and guess again, okay? Make another guess because your first region was incorrect. As long as you're sure your test, your math was right. But if you're pretty sure that the test point fails, then that just means you chose the wrong region. So go back and choose another. The worst that can happen is you have to test all 4. That doesn't sound like very much fun, but I don't think you'll have to. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I don't need to make it more complicated than it is. All right, so that is lesson 114, and we are now halfway through the week. Yay. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.